We can all agree that this has to be the worst time to be single, right? Because we're done with the old, we're done with the apps, but we're not in the new yet. We haven't figured out how are we going to meet each other. We're not there yet.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Just wondering, when is this gonna get fixed? Because if not, I'm gonna die alone.
I like the sound of that.
I have done so much for everybody else at a very young age. I am 51 years old, and I am enough for me. Just like I can tell you you are enough, I had to tell myself that I am enough. And whoever comes in my life or is a part of my life, they have to understand that this is my life.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the desert, where me and Ampu are happy to greet you. I have to ask you, gentlemen, what is your favorite number? Mine is 30. There's just something so captivating about that number. There's something so charming and interesting, but totally unrelated to today's topic, which is women dating over 30. Now, these women are trying to rationalize how is it possible that such gems of people can end up 30 and alone. They're attractive, they're beautiful, they're good, they're God's gift to the earth, yet they are single. And for a Reddit story, a woman gets rejected. How will she handle this daily occurrence for men? We'll check that out. And also, I've been doxed, which I want to talk to you about before the Reddit story. But now, guys, without further ado, let's get started.
If you're single, do you feel like you're a part of a revolution that you didn't ask to be a part of? Because that's how I feel. I don't know if the coupled people know, but the single people are all very aware that we're at this critical turning point of dating where no one wants to do dating apps anymore, but we don't have any third spaces to actually meet organically, and like a huge majority of us work from home. There is not currently a modern solution to modern dating problems. Yes, people used to meet organically before the internet, but now we have the internet. And the internet has messed a lot of things up. The biggest thing being the dating customs that our parents had, because it's no longer normal to approach someone in real life. Also, situationships. We can all agree that this has to be.
I love how she says all of this as if someone is putting a gun to her head, forcing her to use dating apps and partake in situationships. Like, this is the equivalent of a man saying how corn is so devastating for men. For men's understandings about love and S3X, and then you ask him, well, do you watch corn? Oh yeah, corn? Oh yeah, like 3 times a day. What? Like, I would get a person complaining about corn if he doesn't watch corn and he tries to put away himself from that, but complaining about the devastating and bad effects of corn while watching it 3 times a day is a new level of clownship. And it's the same with these women. They whine about dating apps, they complain about them, yet they're avid users of them. So this woman has been using dating apps and going on situationships and talking stages for the last 10 years. And now, guys, it's again that number 30, right? There's something so magical about it. When they reach 30, suddenly they stop liking the dating apps and stop using them. Well, according to their words. Why is that? Well, because they've lost the weight in the market, in the dating market, that they had when they were younger. Now there are other women who are younger and better options for these chads, and these women are leftovers, and they don't like that. This is why, coincidentally, we always get this discussion with women above 30.
To be the worst time to be single, right? Because we're done with the old, we're done with the apps, but we're not in the new yet. We haven't figured out how are we going to meet each other? We're not there yet. Or if you guys know, let me know. We're all in this revolution, just wondering, when is this gonna get fixed? Because if not, I'm gonna die alone.
Yes, you are. I love to agree with women, guys. Do you agree with her or not?
See you later. What's the plan? So what is the plan for later on then? So did you want to meet us at the bar itself, or do you want to meet us for dinner first and then we can sort of figure out where we go, or like what's the...
But now, gentlemen, you know something about the wall? it truly doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care about your race, it doesn't care about your age, everything above 30. It doesn't care about political beliefs, it doesn't care about societal power dynamics. So we'll take a listen at this lady and we'll see what her problems are.
Reasons why I'm single and staying single is because I got sense enough to know that I can't do no more than me at this point. I have done so much in my life and in my career. I have done so.
Now, why did I pause it, you may ask? I pause it to see who cares. Who asked about this woman's career? Can I get one hand raised about a guy who cares about this woman's career? This is the equivalent of men, I don't know, bragging about their Town Hall 20 in Clash Royale. Clash of Clans 21. Oh, look at this game. I have 5 million power in Kingdom Rush. I've upgraded all my walls. Are you impressed yet? Are you impressed? Are you gonna get down on your knees and suck my shorts? Are you impressed? No, they're not. Alright? In the same way, men, we're just not impressed with your job. We don't care. You can work at McDonald's or you can be the CEO of Coca-Cola. We don't care at all.
So much for everybody else at a very young age. I am 51 years old, and I am enough for me. Just like I can tell you you are enough, I had to tell myself that I am enough. And whoever comes in my life or is a part of my life, they have to understand that this is my life, and I have to run it and control it how I want to run it. If I'm not complaining about me, how dare you come in my life and complain about anything? I sit here humble and peaceful and private and quiet every day, thanking God for days, moments, and minutes that I am in my right mind and I have my health. I would refuse to have someone come in my life and change that for me because you want to be in my life. If you can't come in my life and be calm and peaceful and appreciative to what you have and what I have, then you stay where you at. Because I'm...
Alright. No problem with that. Let's let her finish.
I'm not going to welcome you.
Alright, so point here. It's her life, guys. It's her life and it's now or never. She ain't gonna live forever, right? So my question is just, what exactly are we missing out on a woman in her 50s? Like, tell me one thing that this woman provides that a 20-year-old doesn't. A triple count, a body count. Imagine if I could talk. A body count in the triple digits. Correct answer.
Oh my God. I get it.
I kind of had an argument on a second date. Let's do a second date debrief. So basically what happened was we were mid-conversation. I was talking about something that I was really passionate about, that was really special to me. And he
What do you bet? That it's either Zodiac Signs, the new album of Taylor the Swift, or some magical rocks, right, that have healing capabilities.
Interrupted me, like mid-sentence, like I was literally halfway through a sentence. He interrupted me and started talking about how passionate he was about DRUGS. When I say I was shocked, that is an understatement. I didn't know what to say. Like, I literally was just like, the topic of the thing he was passionate about, it's just not for me. Like, it is just really not for me. It's not what I'm about. It's the complete opposite of what I'm about. So then he's basically like, what's wrong? Why have you gone all quiet? Why have you gone all weird? And I'm just like, I don't really know what to say. And he's like, oh, you've gone all weird and quiet on me, blah, blah, blah. Like, being really, like, confrontational, I guess. And usually I would just diffuse this kind of situation. But I was annoyed because the thing I was talking about that I was passionate about was something really quite personal and sensitive to me. And he just interrupted me so blatantly to talk about something so trivial and frankly illegal. So I was like, oh, well, I was just talking about something, you know, that I'm quite passionate about. So it just upset me a little bit that you interrupted me. So then he starts, well, I was talking about something I was passionate about as well, and you didn't care to listen to me, but when you were talking, I was listening to you. So then he starts just continuing talking about it, and I am uncomfortable, but I wanted to diffuse the tension because I needed to kind of get out of the situation, but there wasn't really a way to get out of the situation.
Oh no, Ampu died. Why did he die? Because this story is horrifying, guys. It has me on the edge of my seat. Now, some of you may say that this is just a normal, random conversation that doesn't really escalate into anything terrifying, but for this woman, guys, she's trying to diffuse the situation. You know, she's trying to calm things down. This guy is aggressive, and he is making her worry. She's terrified, right? He's being confrontative. Wait, didn't you just say that he got a little upset about something? You know, that you didn't ask him about his interest, something like this. But this woman is making it like a professional victim story. You know, I was trying to defuse the situation. Everything was so tense. You could touch the drama in the air. Anyway, it's just, Ampu couldn't take it, guys. He's soft-hearted. He cannot take this amount of terror. So if you can, let's continue.
So I needed to just diffuse the tension for long enough to get home, basically. So I was like, oh, like I was asking him questions, even though.
You see, guys, this is a matter of life and death. She's trying to get home. The clock is ticking. She's on a timer. This guy is getting more aggressive with each second. She's trying to defuse it. She's trying to think her way out of the situation. You know, everything is so tense, guys. Why don't they make a movie about this? You know, Jack Snyder.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
No, I literally did not care whatsoever. Like, I couldn't have cared less, to be honest. But I was just asking him questions, trying to diffuse the tension, just like, you know. And then he eventually finishes, and he's like, right, well, now, like, he basically, like, insinuated that he needed to, like, call me out on it, and that I was being really, like, I don't know, it was like he felt like he needed to put me in my place. And the way my body reacted, it was like a visceral reaction. Like, my entire body just, like, froze, and I just couldn't help it. I usually have a pretty good poker face, but something about that situation, I don't know, it threw me off. I felt panicky, I felt anxious, I wanted to run away. So yeah, anyway, he ends up saying, like, oh, continue what you were saying, and I'm like, to be really honest, like, I can't actually remember where I was in the story. Like, you know, you're just like, you know, and he's like, you don't need to be like that. And I'm like, I'm not really being like anything, I just genuinely can't remember where I was up to in the story. So I was like going, because like literally I couldn't remember anything at all, and I couldn't remember my brain, and I was just literally like struggling for words, and I was like, and then he was like, oh, you were saying this, and I was like, oh yeah, thank you, and I was like, oh yeah, so, but I was pretty much kind of like, again, my brain just wasn't working, so I was just kind of saying.
Same as like right now, isn't it? I love it, and when I say I love it, I hate it when women tell you a 4-minute story that could be summarized in really 2 sentences. You know, like, women will be sending out audios to their sisters telling you won't believe this, it's crazy story, and then they tell you something like, oh yeah, we took a walk through the park and he touched my hand, something like this, like the most ordinary common story. They'll just make a whole documentary about it. And the way they talk is like, I was going to tell him this, and he was like, you know, he was like, he interrupted me because in his head he thought, you know, the way I interpreted is when he said this, like, you know, I was about, can you talk, please? Can you say something meaningful? This is in school when you have to make a 1,000-word essay, so you just instead of saying one sentence with 6 words, you use 420.
Words for the sake of saying words and it not being awkward anymore. Yeah, so that happened, and then we got back to the car. He brought me back home, which I'm grateful for, and then he basically was like, because like, so we were meant to be going out till a certain time because he had to leave at a certain time, but we were back really early, so he basically was like, got to mine, and he was like, I've still got an hour, like, if you want me to come up, and I was like, no thank you. I just wasn't expecting that, and I feel like that was such a red flag. Like, that was like the reddest of red flags I have ever experienced. And it actually scared me, like, to kind of be spoken to that way on a second date and kind of insinuated that I needed to be told. Like, that was a little bit scary, but yeah.
No, really scary. I think I'm gonna have nightmares. Thrilling, eh, guys? Have you ever heard a more terrifying story? Absolutely interesting. Now, something to consider is that this is a second date. Like, what's the takeaway from this video? This guy was interested in substances, which is not this woman's thing. What is the takeaway here? Like, first off, why did you need a second date to realize that? I can tell you guys, this guy, I don't even need to talk with him. Like, if I see this guy walking 5 feet away from me, I could probably tell all of this information without even having to go on a second date with him, alright? So why exactly did you go on a second date? Also, why exactly are you single at 30? Because all men in America are addicted to substances? I don't know, guys, is that the case? Never been to America, but what's going on, man? You keep dating these guys that coincidentally turn out to be substance addicts, or not the most, committed type of guys, may I say. You've been doing that for 30 years. Like, what are the odds, gentlemen? What are the odds of keep dating and stumble upon the same type of man over and over and over again? Like, what are the odds, right? I'm starting to think that these women pick those men, right? Crazy to think about. But now, guys, before we move on to our Reddit story, I just want to say I've been doxed, all right? We're going to take a look at this. This is a archaeological video about tombs and pyramids and all that about Egypt, and this is showing on the page of dating over 30. Now, this video doesn't even include the hashtag dating over 30, but for some reason it's there. So let's take a look.
Team used radar satellite imagery, deep soil coring, and geophysical tests to find and map the remains of this branch. And their findings imply that this branch was functional and operational during the construction phase of many of these pyramids. So when we come back to this map, you can see that over...
But, I mean, I live near there. What is this? Why are they trying to dig up where I live? What is this study? Who financed this? I feel threatened, guys.
Time, the Nile would actually shift to the east, as it was positioned further to the west during the Old Kingdom, and probably about during the Middle Kingdom, it started shifting to the east. Eventually, that specific branch of the Nile dried up, and the exact date of this is really unknown. This also corresponds with the writings from the diary of Merer, who writes that workers brought materials by way of a harbor.
Oh yeah, I remember this guy. He was a funny guy, to be honest with you. You had to be there.
Excavations in Giza have also found evidence of said harbor, and you can come see these pyramids with me this September with other
No, don't come around here, right? Stop digging, because you may stumble upon my tomb. Ampu is gonna get all upset and defensive about it. He's gonna show in his true form of Anubis. You're gonna crap your pants. The whole media is gonna, reach out to me and just surround my tomb, and just stop, right? Stop digging. Take your little study outside of Egypt and go back to wherever you came from. Okay, we're not keen to your type around here. But now, guys, enough about this. I just don't understand these women, guys. I'm just living there in my tomb. I don't bother anyone, and suddenly you have this whole archaeological team here coming to dig up my house. How would you feel if a bunch of construction workers came to your house and tried to dig the whole thing up? Alright, getting quite upset right there. But now, guys, let's move on to the Reddit article story, Reddit story, which is a woman got rejected, guys. Now, I know that as men, you've never been rejected. So, we're gonna have a first time here, alright? I can't stop crying, starts the... Sorry, this is sad. Ampu, where's the violin? Here it is. Wait, what? It's not showing, guys. Holy crap. Editor, edit this whole thing out. Ampu, you forgot your violin again, man. Damn it. I can't stop crying. Just picture Ampu with the violin. I don't think I'll ever be able to go on a date again. Sorry. I, 24 female, went on a date with a guy I met on Hinge. We've been texting for a few days and had great chemistry. This word chemistry, guys. I love chemistry, you know. Every time there's chemistry, I'm yet to see a woman talking about chemistry with a guy who is not 6 feet tall or doesn't have a six-pack or a good jawline. I'm yet to see chemistry happen with that type of guy. We met up. Right when he saw me, I noticed a look on his face I didn't like. Oh no. He looked kinda disappointed. We hugged and he said he's gotta pee. He took his sweet time, and when he got out, he was probably asking for some sort of evacuation. He's being catfished totally. He didn't even stand close to me, but a few feet away, so I had to walk up to him. He said, I don't look like he's imagined, with a laugh on his face, and that he's sorry, but the date is over. Wow, today's video is so dramatic, guys. I was playing it cool, laughed it off, and said it's fine. They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine, but you're not really fine. Type of story. I honestly didn't know how to react. He lives like a 50-minute drive away, and he'd rather drive right back than go on a walk with me as planned. Ouch. Like, I'm too ugly to be seen with. I've never had a great self-esteem, but now it's completely wrecked. I sent him multiple unedited videos and photos of myself, and he always said how beautiful I am. There's something fishy around here, alright? There's something fishy here. Not quite buying it. If you've sent this man multiple videos and photos and he was still struck when he saw you, there's something wrong here, right? Maybe the photos you sent were of 5 years ago, or maybe she didn't mention makeup. She said that they were unedited, but she didn't mention makeup, right? Like, there's something going on here, guys. I've had bad dates, but I've never been rejected right at the beginning of a date, and I'm sure that's nothing that happens to anyone. Yeah, we men, we don't know what you're talking about right now. Like, just on last story, we had a guy who was attractive and hot according to women, but he was 5'5", and this is why he got rejected on literally every single date he went. Alright? A woman gets rejected once, and she just loses it, guys. She can't stop crying. I don't think I'll ever be able to recover from this. I'll need 15 years of therapy. Absolutely hilarious. But let's end the Reddit. I'm sure that's nothing that happens to anyone, just the very unfortunate looking people. All men that are not top 10% are unfortunate looking people, as you call them. How can I go on a date now, knowing that I'm just gonna disappoint them? Wow. It's terrifying, guys. Terrifying stories. I think we need to take a break, you know, listen to some story, to take our minds away from all the horror we've experienced today. I should let a warning at the beginning of the video. Horrifying experience. Watch at your own discernment, you know. But we're gonna close the video right here, guys. Leave me your thoughts. Have you ever been, I don't know, rejected? Has that ever happened to you guys? Because of your looks, because you don't have a six-pack, or because you're not 6 feet tall, because you're starting to bowl at a younger age? Have you ever been, you know, have experienced that? Nah, I don't think men experience that at all. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you like the memes. I'll end with this thought, right? What else can I do, guys? Like, I'm adding memes. I have Ampu here. I'm a 4,000-year-old mommy. I put boobs on the thumbnail, alright? It's like, what else can I do to appeal to the YouTube algorithm, you know? This channel has it all. Well, actually, it doesn't have a girlfriend channel. I don't know, guys. Do you know any 4,000-year-old female mommy? A mommy, if you will? That was a terrible pun. Editor, edit this out as well. But, you know, guys, I want her to be well preserved, you know? Like, yes, she's 4,000-year-old, but for me personally, I'm 4,000 years old. I think I look quite good, right? So, I don't know, if you know any 4,000-year-old mommy, 3,000 years old, I think it's too much of a age gap, you know? And above 4,000, we know that it's the wall, so I'm not gonna date any woman that's over 4,000. But, you know, guys, if you just know any 4,000-year-old woman that is attractive, that hasn't been messing around, a body count of more than 4 immediately disqualifies her. So, well, you let me know, guys. I'm looking for a girlfriend for the channel, alright? Now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.